Former President Bill Clinton told lawmakers that Donald Trump told him he had, quote, some great times, close quote, with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein before their relationship soured, according to a video released on Monday. A White House spokesperson said, who else does Trump have to have killed to get you to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein? The Supreme Court cleared the way on Monday for California schools to tell parents if their children identify as transgender without getting the students' approval, granting a temporary emergency appeal from a conservative legal group. The order blocks, for now, a state law that bans automatic parental notification requirements if students change their pronouns or gender expression at school. First, they came for my pronouns, and I did nothing because my nouns were amateurs. 3 F-15E jets have crashed in Kuwait after being mistakenly shot down by Kuwaiti air defense during operations against an Iranian attack, U.S. authorities said. They went down in, quote, friendly fire, close quote, during a combat operation against Iranian aircraft, missiles, and drones. Those jets went down faster than Lindsey Graham does on Donald Trump during Trump's staff meetings. Energy prices rose sharply Monday as disruptions to tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz and damage to production facilities raised uncertainty about how U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran would affect supply to the world economy. The biggest shock was to natural gas prices, which rose more than 40% in Europe when Qatar was attacked. This new Trump war will cause additional financial hardships, finishing the job that Trump's tariffs started. This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for March 3rd, 2026, the 407th day of the Sex Offender Administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MindDog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
But I am for great at.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
We ain't buying. I'm poor. I got fired yesterday. Yes, I did. I'm not even here now. I didn't report for work today. But whatever you go spot. I'm not buying. Give up. You're here every day with the same please. Bye. I have my own bot. I don't really. I should make a bot. That can't be that difficult. Well, if you could do it, I could do it. It's Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. And if you don't know, we're at war. Yeah, World War III has started. It's getting bad because Iran is not all that stupid, turns out. And turns out our president and his administration, they're all that stupid. Iran is going after oil production facilities, oil transportation facilities, cutting down the Straits of Hormuz, things like that. They're not as impotent as Donald Trump and his administration had guessed they were. And it's almost it's almost like he's incompetent, and like his entire administration is made up of podcasters and other incompetent people. It's almost that way, right? Besides the fact, you can forget about all the lies and bullshit. You don't have to forget about them, but you can. But this war was supposed to be over by now, right? It was a 3-day war. Yesterday was the 3rd day. It's still going on. And he's now saying, well, it could be weeks. They're still not saying it could be years, but it could be years. And people who actually know about war and how to fight them and stuff like that and what's going, they say, yeah, it's going to be years. So there you have it. And Israel's expanding the thing, going into Lebanon now. The embassy in Riyadh got hit, and you know what? If this was, that's a Benghazi thing. Oh, I want to put Donald Trump on the stand for 12 hours, 13 hours, whatever. But my favorite person in the whole world. This is not true. I'm just lying here. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I gotta share this Marjorie Taylor Greene clip here because listen, everybody remembers that she was like Jewish space lasers and right in with the QAnon and all the MAGA nonsense. But she has resigned from Congress. I don't think she's running for another office. And it seems to me like she's, and I don't want to be a sucker here, but it seems to me like she's kind of having a bit of an awakening. And if that's true, I have some forgiveness for her. So I just want to play this clip here.
Thank you so much for having me, Megan. And I completely agree with everything you said in your intro. I'd also like to point out that X is saturated in bots as well and paid social media influencers who just echo whatever their money tells them to say, the money that they're getting paid for. And so I think that just like our media has been nothing but propaganda for as long as you and I can remember, I think social media has turned into the same thing. What I do know is most Americans, and it's being proved in polling that's coming out, most Americans are completely against this war because, like you said, the president has made no case for it. We live our ordinary lives and we don't feel threatened by Iran. We don't walk around thinking that in any moment an Iranian ballistic missile is going to land on our head. We don't. Here's what Americans, and I want to read off this list. This is what Americans are focused on. 72% of Americans can't afford health insurance.
72.
58% of Americans can't afford car insurance. 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 31% of Americans can't afford their back taxes. 50% of Americans are in credit card debt, massive credit card debt. That's where we are in America. And I campaigned with the president. As a matter of fact, I was one of the only Republicans that was out there for Donald Trump when the rest of the neocons, by the way, that are just cheering him on now, had abandoned him and were trying to beat him in a primary and stop him from being president again. I was out there on the front lines for Make America Great Again. And Make America Great Again was supposed to be America first, not Israel first, not any foreign country first, not any foreign people first, but the American people first and our problems. And God bless the Iranian people. I hope to God that they can have a government that is for them and that treats women fairly. But what we have seen happen right now is we have seen over 100 little girls killed at a school from a bomb. And I don't know whose bomb it was, but they're dead today because America and Israel attacked Iran. So that's not really good for Iranian women. And our president is saying that the Iranian people are all of a sudden going to topple their regime. Well, I don't think the Iranian people are going to be toppling their regime when they're getting blown apart by the United States and Israel in an unprovoked attack. And yes, it was unprovoked. And Pete Hegseth said this morning, Megan, he said that we didn't start this war. But I hate to argue with the Secretary of the Department of War. America and Israel definitely started this war, and you can't lie that away to the American people.
Give us your overall view on why
stop.
You're against.
So, basically, sounds like a radical woke libtard. I don't know what happened to her. What happened with now of course, the MAGA people will say, "Oh, she just sour grapes because he called her a traitor." No, she's listing pretty accurate stats there, and statistics being what they are, they can be fudged and all that kind of stuff. But it does sound to me like she woke up a little bit. She's not maybe she's just not that quick. Takes 10 years to figure out. Hey, wait a minute. People are lying to us. Anyway, this war thing, it's not a good thing. Not a good thing. It's not going to work out good. I hate to be a pessimist and I hate to be a spoiler for you, but we've seen this war before. This movie before. We've seen this war in this movie before. So there's that. Today we have a show for you. Yeah, we do. Inspiration. First hour we got Kyle and Brent Pease, or is it Brent and Kyle Pease? One brother, the younger brother, has cerebral palsy. He's a part of he's got a twin brother, but his twin brother, I don't know where he's involved in this. The older brother runs marathons, and they've got this whole thing now where they got marathon races with brothers pushing other brothers in wheelchairs. I can't even walk a marathon. This is what a lame little I am. So inspiration and people, the can-do attitude, gotta love that. And then the second hour we have an author, a friend of mine who I'm not sure what I'll call her, because turns out she's got 3 names. We're going to talk to the second alter ego. This first time I met this lady, I'm going to call Wendy. I called her crazy, and she laughed at that. And I'm thinking I was accurate, and she took it in good nature. But yes. Heavy Kev is already with the comments here. 80% of Americans spend too much time being distracted. You try living here. You try living here. A plan to stop them from better music. I don't know. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate it. Anyway, yesterday we had Carlos Centron on, and this morning I got an angry email from his publicist about he wasn't expecting to talk to other people. He just wanted to talk to me. And GD and John Beavers were here, and he was surprised by that. And what's going on? Look, the evening program is one-on-one. They get the email about this. The Wednesday evening program is a one-on-one conversation. The morning program has always got more than one person on it, or usually has more than one person on it. And if you checked out an episode, you would know that. And I'm just really, I'm tired of being told how to run the morning show here. This is supposed to be a light, fun wake-up call, not necessarily just a straight ahead. Let's talk serious all the time. We're going to talk a little serious in a few minutes here. First, I'm going to play you some. I'm going to tell you about wine. You want to know about wine? Let me tell you about wine. Can I tell you? WineExpress.com is the exclusive wine shop of the Wine Enthusiast catalog and website, which have been providing quality wine accessories and storage for 40 years. During that time, they've served millions of satisfied customers and built a loyal following of avid wine lovers. I like to call them winos. It's only natural then for them to team up with a great wine shop to bring their customers first quality wines at value prices. And you can get free shipping if you buy more wine than you could ever drink right now. That's not true. It's $149.95. What is that? That's probably about 5 bottles. Is that being fair? Maybe it's about 7, but I don't know. Anyway, $149.95, you get free shipping. So why not go for that? Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now is our chief wine correspondent, GD Fenderson. Good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. There is only blah, blah, blah shopping days until St. Patrick's Day.
14.
So go to minddogtv.com/merch to get all of the St. Patrick's Day needs. Spend your green or an hour green. Enjoy this. Support your local merch nerds and enjoy the suffering.
Is it a Wednesday? Because today's the 3rd. 2 weeks from today, 14 days should be the 17th, right? What is it? Wednesday?
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. Why we made? Oh, I guess I'm not good at math. That's the problem.
Today's Tuesday. It is 2 weeks away. It's just
today is Tuesday. That's the problem. I am good at math. I'm bad at calendars.
Yes, you're bad at daying.
Yeah, days.
Don't quit your day job.
I got fired from my day job because of this Facebook thing. Do you feel bad for me? Empathy, sympathy, and nothing. You got nothing for me. All right, fine.
It'd be nice if you let me answer the question.
Oh, well, I just know you got nothing for me. Go ahead. What do you got? Nothing.
Fuck off. That's it. That's all I got. Fuck off. You got me in trouble yesterday. The guy didn't even want to talk to me, and you had me on the show, and now I'm getting hate mail from bald people who look black.
No, not him. I think he was fine with it. To be honest with you, I think he's fine. His publicist is angry that it was she called it a panel discussion. I was like, panel discussion? What? It was me and GD. And then I remembered, oh yeah, Beav came in. But he came in almost at the very end of it. And he had some specific questions that I think helped Carlos sell his program, his book, his whatever. So I mean, we're working for our guests here. We're helping to promote them. Don't tell us how to do it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, but St. Patrick's Day. Do you have parades there in Maryland? What do they do?
Oh yeah, please. We have a huge Black Irish population in Baltimore.
Black Irish? You mean like my grandfather's Black Irish?
No, look. Let's put it this way. I don't. You know how genealogy, when we were kids, when we were growing up, there was no DNA test. And so you could be anything and nobody was a fucking wiser. And so a lot of those people have grown up still thinking and believing that they're Irish. And guess what? They drink. And then even the ones that know they're not Irish, they drink anyway.
First time I heard the phrase Black Irish, my grandfather told me he was Black Irish because he was Protestant. I didn't know, I couldn't wrap my head around that. I still have problems with that. Like you're the Irish. If you're not Catholic in Ireland, you're not really Irish. It doesn't make sense.
If you're not, well, it depends. If you're an Irish Catholic, then the Protestants are less than. If you're an Irish Protestant, then the Catholics are less than. See, that's why they're having all those troubles. It wasn't because of skin color. It was because of which version of their God they worshipped.
Yeah. But it shouldn't, like, American is American. Well, I shouldn't say that, but Irish is Irish. I don't know. It's like,
see what would have solved the problem, and I wish I was
Jewish,
around. I wish I was around to solve this for them, to prevent all of that killing. The Catholics have a pope. The Protestants should have elected a pope, and then let the two popes duke it out, and that way all of those other people didn't have to die.
Pope-a-dope.
Yeah. Yes, right. Let them get into the ring together and let them hash it out and save all of those lives.
Would that be good for every single brand? Because in Protestant, this better than me. There's there's so many of the Protestant types, right?
That's true, but there's a lot of Catholics as well. There's a lot of different sects of Catholicism as well.
Yeah.
So for those, the only group of Catholics that really probably do not adhere or follow the Pope are, I think it's the group called there's two groups.
Episcopalians.
No, the bad Catholics and the Reformed Catholics. Oh. Those two probably don't follow the Pope as much.
See,
but other than that, every other sect follows the Pope.
It's all these religions, with Christianity, Muslim, I don't know, and even the Jewish, I think, gets and Hinduism. They all got like different sects, when I say sect,
but
I don't think that's the act.
But there's only very few of them actually have the leader of their religion on earth, as an earthly thing, So the Catholics have the Pope down here on earth. I think the Buddhists have the Dalai Lama down here on Earth. Now, they're just a representative, the head of the religion. They're not the religion.
Right.
I think that would have saved a lot of lives if the Protestants had elected a pope and the two popes just duked it out.
I should know this, but
you should.
Does the Protestants and Catholics in Ireland get along on March 17th, or they don't even celebrate over there? It's just an American thing, right?
Yeah, they drink. I don't know what they do on the other side of the pond. We can ask Carl when he comes in today.
Carl who?
Carl Mann.
Do I know him?
Yeah, he used to be your adopted son.
You know, Carl's a doctor. Did you know that? Carl's a doctor.
Of what?
I don't know. This is what I can't wait. I've known him for 35 years now. I have no idea what his PhD is in. I don't, and there's nothing that he.
God, yes.
There's nothing that he talks about that gives that away.
Yes, right? PhD, pound high in drinks. He's a doctor of drinkology.
You would think he'd give you some kind of, like, in conversation, you'd figure out, oh, this is his field of study. This is what he
studied alcohol.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure if you check
if that was you, when he was in New York, why would he be buying Bud Light at a pizza place?
Research.
All right, maybe.
Not everything a doctor does is for pleasure. Some things are just research. And do you think, like, okay, my doctor's a general practitioner. You think she likes sticking her fingers in men's butts? No. The men liked it, but she didn't. She had to do it because it was part of her training.
I could see, I guess they're in the back room now, in the green room, and they're probably saying, like, let's get out of here. Because they think you're going to stick something in their butt, which you're not going to do, right? You promise? But I have seen Carl. Now, I've seen pictures of him giving lectures to, like, an auditorium of college students. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. But I have no idea what he talks about. Anyway,
let's do the introduction. Let's get Brett and Kyle in here. Although I think they're in the wrong positions. Can we fix their name or fix their chairs so that when people are watching, they know that Kyle is on one side and Brent's on the other?
Right, you know them that well that you can figure this out, because I don't know which Brent or Kyle, and Kyle is.
Well,
Brent.
it just says Brent and Kyle. That's all. So I just want. I mean, we can change the name so that it says Kyle and Brent, so that the right name is under the right person. If that's okay with you, just give us a thumbs up and we'll change it.
Okay. I'm not changing nothing.
I would change the names if I.
Let me
permission.
put the URL for the KylePeaceFoundation.org scrolling along there while I read this brief intro. Brett and Kyle Pease, and they should buy me new glasses so I can see this. Speak to audiences across the nation, sharing their message of inclusion and defining what's truly possible. Very inspirational people, because, like I say, I can't walk a marathon, and I was born with working legs. Their presentations interweave both, these glasses, interweave both their perspectives of a Peasy life and their Kona quest. I'm sorry, what do I know what I'm talking about?
Well, I think Kona is like a Hawaiian word for.
I know.
Okay.
Kona used to be the sponsor here, Kona Coffee, remember? Oh, yeah. Remember. And Kyle and Brent recount their experiences that shaped the unifying hand that has resonated between them since childhood. Let's bring them in, because I can't read. Good morning, guys. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you, man. Have you guys.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you being here, and I do know a little bit about the foundation, and you got people from all over running marathons with wheelchairs. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And some of them look like recumbent wheelchairs, like laid out bikes and stuff. Very cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where these people all come from America, or is it a worldwide?
It's. I mean, I would say worldwide. We just did a huge event. We had one team from London, from the UK, but I would say largely, racing here in America.
Okay. Which one is Kyle and which one is Brent? Because I'm
Kyle.
Okay. So
Kyle, I'm sorry. You doubted me.
No,
when are you gonna learn?
I didn't doubt you. I didn't know that they switch
You
around.
would
I
have
didn't
had
see
to ask.
them switch
If you
around.
didn't doubt me, you wouldn't. I'm sorry. I had my question is for Kyle, real quick. Matt, because Matt is insulting me. I can't let him finish the sentence now. No, Kyle. In every set of brothers, there's like a funny brother and a good-looking brother. I want to know from you: is it a burden for you to be both the good-looking and the funny brother?
My man. Man, I've been waiting to hear that compliment all week. So I appreciate you recognizing that I'm the good looking one, I'm the funny one, I wear the personality. So yeah, all of that.
I mean, because best I can tell, Brent is riding your coattails. That's best I can figure.
Hey, listen, Kyle and I have been at this for a long time. You're the first person that's just nailed it on the head. I'm riding coattails behind this good looking, charismatic, funny guy. And I'm along for a hell of a ride. So,
can I try to cause some division and some rivalry? There's a third brother, Evan, right? Is that his name?
Yes. Yeah.
Is he jealous of you guys and your fame and all? Is he or not involved? Or
I mean, he's not here today. What can we say? But I mean, no, he's not. I mean,
somebody has to run away with the funds. Okay, well, that's Evan's job. No, let me stop.
I'll tell you this: Evan ran a marathon 2 years ago, and Kyle and I can do it an hour faster. So we'll see if he can catch up one of these days.
Wow. So explain to me exactly how this works. You're running with a chair strapped to you or something, or you're pushing it? How does it work?
Yeah, for the running portions, it's like you were talking about some of the chairs, how you saw them. Like I would tell you that our chairs are semi-custom. Kyle's chair is pretty custom, so I'm pushing them in the marathon, and acting as the legs and the engine for what we do.
Wow.
Can I make a suggestion for a book title if you decide to write a book?
We got one out already, but we're talking about a second, so we'll take the title.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. I missed that. I was looking to see if there was a book because I didn't want to. I don't like offering advice until I've done a little research. And
you gotta. I would have had the book ready to show people. I didn't see a book on the website. So
okay. So my book title suggestion is Not So Easy Peasy.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Speaking Kyle's language right there.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, you can use it and just give me a little note in the forward. Says, thank you, GD, for the suggestion. That's if you use it. I'm just trying to get my name in as many books out there as possible.
For sure.
So that people eventually go, who's this GD that keeps being thanked for these book titles?
Yeah. I love it.
You know what? My little piece of suggestion is let me know where the book is so I could actually show it to people and send them to buy the book, because we would love to support you in that. But I couldn't find. I didn't see a book, or I'd have it.
Yeah, so we tend to drive that to Amazon. It just creates more engagement for us, and then people get asked to leave a review. So we tend to drive people to Amazon on there, but we need to add an Amazon link to our website.
All right. What is the overall? I mentioned inclusion and all that stuff, but the end game of take action. What is the overall goal of the foundation? What are you trying to get people to do?
Our mission at the Kyle Peace Foundation is to improve the lives of people with disabilities through sports and beyond. So at the core of what we do is inclusion and racism, and we just want to add more people to our family and get more people off the sidelines and into the game.
Into the game. But what does that look like? I mean, are you just trying to get people with disabilities to participate? Or do you see kind of anything happening as a result within society from the work you're doing? Give me a big 60,000 foot view of what you're accomplishing here.
Well, I think like what we're accomplishing is like we started with the very simple act of just including people in a space that there's no separate spaces for people in wheelchairs. Like it's the same space. We're all doing the same thing for people with disabilities. And what we're seeing is it's starting to extend beyond the finish, which is the title of our book. Nice plug there since it wasn't on the website. it's letting them see that sports is just a catalyst for growth. You know, we've got an employment program now. We've got a kids program. We give away around $100,000 every year to families that race with us. So it's creating, you know, real impact, not just in the physical act of the racing part, which is fantastic, which is what that's where we started, but it's really impacting real change, not only for the athletes, but their families, and the way that they see what inclusion looks like and what life can look like from a fully inclusive standpoint.
Very cool. Well, what was the? How did you get started with it? I mean, it's obviously starts with an idea, but were you just running alone at first? Like you ran a marathon, just the two of you, and then people started following. How did it
Yeah,
grow?
pretty much. I mean, that was our original marketing plan, was just run every month, and hopefully people would see us. And so it was just us to start, and it was just trying to find families that, you know, wanted to take the leap with us to come. Like, it's not easy, you know, dealing with a child or an adult with a disability, and to say, hey, get up at 4 a.m. with us and come do this. We promise you're going to love it. So it was, I mean, it's been a 15-year odyssey for us. I mean, we started with the two of us, and it took us almost a year to support just one person. So it's been a big journey to bring more people. Now it's got, you know, we have these opportunities and lots of other ways to amplify and expose what we do to the greater community, as we talked about at the onset, of like a global community.
Very cool stuff. Putting this whole thing together, do you have some help with the administration of it? Because you're out there running, you can't be running, or maybe you can, running the foundation. Are you the CEO of the foundation, or?
I am. I work for Kyle.
I work for him.
Yeah, we've got an 18-person team now. We've got 8 people with disabilities that work here. We've got, you know, an operations director. We've got a development director that manages all the fundraising and marketing, and it's a huge team, as well as, I mean, we just had 300 volunteers this past weekend. So it's a much bigger thing. Kyle and I used to do it all. We did the marketing, we did the thank you notes, we did the truck driving. Well, Kyle didn't drive, I drove, but you know, it's moved beyond just the two of us in that realm as well, that it takes a lot to fire up the engines here.
All right. I'm gonna drag you into some political stuff here. I'm sorry to do this, but
yeah,
the word inclusion in some circles has a very negative connotation. They're against DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Inclusion, and I think in general they're focused on race or gender, not people with disabilities. But this highlights that. Do you feel any of that kind of resistance to inclusion?
You know, we don't. I mean, what I would say is that the inclusion piece for people with disabilities has largely been left out of the conversation. And there's not a lot more than just our organization that are out advocating for that. And what we've learned is, you know, Kyle, you know, has severe physical limitations. Somebody's got to, you know, feed him and take him to the bathroom and, you know, make his day work. And so we're helping create conversation around, you know, there is a need. I mean, we don't run this organization without Kyle, you know, so we'll figure that inclusion piece out, and we're taking that conversation. We've got a partner already that's taken on some employees to help grow their business as well as ours, and bring more inclusivity to their workforce. So I would say that conversation is largely been left out of the political side as well, that it's just more about the human side of, you know, people wanting to be included in work and in life.
That's exactly why I brought it up. I think, and I'm not just because I'm saying this doesn't mean I'm saying you should pick up the mantle here. But I think somebody has to bring that up within the conversation, the national conversation about inclusion. Hey, you're leaving a big segment out of this thing because whatever prejudice or biases they have, they're just discounting the contributions of people who may be in a wheelchair or something like that, or have some other kind of disability. They're vital contributors to society, and I know many of them. We had many on the show, entrepreneurs and people who are really inspirational in showing what people can do beyond perceived limitations. And I think that it's important for somebody to say, hey, wait a minute, while you're talking about inclusion, don't forget these people who are perceived to have limitations in the world, and nobody's talking for them. So somebody needs to bring that up.
Agreed.
And what we used to have, and still do sometimes, a comedian who's on the show, and he is wheelchair bound since birth. And he is quick to point out how there are still a lot of establishments, venues, and things like that that are not accessible to people in wheelchairs and what have you. And by law, they're supposed to be, but they're not. Do you get involved in that kind of I don't know what I'm
advocacy?
Yeah.
From a life standpoint, we're not in that realm. I mean, like looking at buildings and sidewalks and things like that. From an athletic standpoint, absolutely. You know, we work with organizing bodies to help make their races more inclusive, more accessible, because we've got a big crew. You know, so the power of our movement has grown louder, and it's a lot easier for us to have those conversations than when it was just me and Kyle.
I think, you know, to go back to your previous comment, we are aware of what's out there and some of the challenges that prevent people with disabilities from participating and being involved. But I think what we try to focus on is love, is that when somebody comes to our foundation, helping them to be the best person that they can be. And yes, we have a mission. Yes, we rely on generous donors to help us run the operations. But when somebody comes to our foundation, I want them to forget about their disability for the hour or 2 hours and focus on being the athlete. And if we did our job and they forget about their disability, then
is that the book?
Yeah, that's
they
right.
have. Yeah, that's the book, and now I'm trying to. I was holding this off. I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to interrupt the flow, but thank you, Matt. And also emailed the book to you, Matt, if you want to put it in. I didn't want to.
We've shown the book. It's available on Amazon. Beyond the Finish is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's 4 other books though. There's 5 books on your website.
We've done some children's books. Those are those are really for the like we write them about the families that raise with us. Those are much more about just sharing with our community, but you can get those on Amazon as well as the website as well.
Yeah, because I noticed the artwork on the other 4 looked like children's books, and this one was like an actual photograph. The other ones were like caricatures and cartoons.
Correct. Yeah.
Is there a full-length documentary out or some kind of film? I've seen clips of your parents talking about their early parts of their marriage and wanting 2 kids, and then they discussion between do we have 2 or 3, and then they have 1 and then twins, so that solved that problem. Is there a full-length film to that?
There's 70 minutes on our YouTube channel with in partnership with Hyundai that we did 2 years ago. And if anybody listening wants to help pick that up and turn it into a full-length documentary, we're all in. But currently, just some stuff that we did in partnership. It's about 70 minutes long. It's 6 different segments, but it's a whole journey through an Ironman that we did and all the different pieces that come together, including family and business and all of it.
All right, hold on. Ironman. Is that a triathlon? That's so. The swimming part will get. So what do you do in the
So I pull Kyle in a kayak. So he sits in a kayak and it's tied to my waist. Yeah.
For some reason, I was picturing him strapped to your back while you're trying to. Wow. And do you do this all like in? I think you're located in the Southeast, right, Georgia or something? Do you do it? Is it all based there, or do you go travel around the country and do it?
No, we go all over the country. We did Hawaii, Colorado, all over the country.
Very cool stuff. Now, is it just U.S. based, or are people worldwide getting involved?
Just U.S. based, but we've had some families from overseas come to the States to race with us. We haven't gone the opposite direction yet. We haven't flown overseas yet, but one of these days we will.
Is the fame going to your head at all? You're becoming celebrities.
Well, we just did a panel this weekend, and the only people who showed up were people that already knew us. So I would say that there's not quite that level of fame yet. But thank you for the
kind of like our gigs.
So that's important because I do stand-up comedy, and I can't even get the people who know me to come out. So they're the ones that say, we know him, don't go.
Yeah. I can vouch for that. But that's part of show business. So it is what it is.
It's like, why pay to see him? We can just have lunch with him.
Yes. What is the call to action for the people listening to this? How can they get involved and help support you?
KylePeaceFoundation.org, which you've got scrolling on the screen there, which we appreciate. That'll give you the connection points to any and every way to get involved with us: social media, newsletter, come to an event, sign up for an event. All of it lives right there. Some great content, and it's the one-stop shop to connect with all things KPZ.
Very cool stuff. Because you say you're all over the country. Ever come to Long Island, New York, or thereabouts, anywhere within the New York metro area?
We were in Jones Beach last fall, September, with another team, not us, but another team was in Jones Beach doing a triathlon. And then we've got teams every year that do the New York City Marathon as well. So we come up that way at least once a year.
Awesome. I have to please let me know when you do it this summer or this year at all, or even next year. I would love to come out and support that and show some support for it and just be part of it. It's good stuff. I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
As far as sponsors here, now you're getting a lot of you're getting some people behind this cause. How is that? How is the money used in this the corporate sponsorships? What does that do for you?
Yes, I mean, it's a nonprofit, so we rely on the generosity of donors and partners, and so it allows them to help us support what we do. I mean, we do 64 events a year. We're spending $2+ million to execute all these events, and so the partners pay for equipment, race fees, travel, fixing things, giving athletes and their families experiences at these events, and including the employment piece. So, it used to just be, we need help with the equipment in the races. And as the organization's expanded, so too have the partnerships. So there's wonderful ways, and we're NASCAR, man, we're a rolling billboard. So, we can put a chair and we can logo that thing up and celebrate all those partnerships.
I love this. Now, is everybody who gets involved family, or can it be sometimes is it total strangers? Like, I just want to get involved in listen, I can't even run a marathon on my own, but or never mind push somebody through one. But if I could start training today, I would I would do it. Is it ever strangers, like, or is it all family?
No, it's everybody is welcome. So complete strangers to families, we take them all.
Very cool. Now, how many years separate you guys?
2 years.
Oh, that's not long. Because sometimes brothers, like my brother, is 8 years older than me. I don't think he would have been all that interesting. You know what? I have to commend you because as a older brother, you showed a lot of heart, and sometimes big brothers, they can be a little bit of a bully, or just and this I'm thinking of my case, just not all that loving to their younger brothers. So good for you to share that, show your heart throughout your entire life. Have you guys always had a really good relationship with that, or
yes,
best of friends?
Yeah, we all three of us have a really big close.
Wow. So when it comes to the books, is Kyle write them, or is or your partners like in collaborating?
Yeah, partners in we're partners in everything. I mean, we're, you know, I know it's a nonprofit, but really Kyle and I are the partners that started the business. And
how does the book writing collaboration go? Like you sit there and bounce ideas off.
Kyle yells at me and makes me write until my hands are too tired. Yeah, I mean, like we have to. Kyle types with one finger, so we get somebody to help us, and we do like an interview style, and then we put his words to paper, and then we go through it together and kind of workshop it. So, you know, the last book, The Beyond the Finish, took us about 6 months to do all of that. And, you know, I don't know that the next one would go any quicker because it's a collaborative process between both of us, both the writing and the interviewing and the, you know, expanding and editing all the ideas and words.
How often do you train? Is it like a daily, weekly? How often are you training for these things? Because you can't just take off for 6 weeks and go run another marathon.
No,
or maybe you
can. Yeah, no, it's daily, and then Kyle's involved in that as well. Typically on the weekends when it's a little bit easier for us to make the energy to do that. So we absolutely do a lot of that.
Can we put a mic on Kyle and like get some of the conversation? Is he yelling at you the whole time you're
as long as there's an explicit rating sign, you know, on the mic'd up portion, then we can mic Kyle up and you can hear what he says to me during these things.
Oh, that's got to be great stuff. I mean, are you cracking jokes? What are you doing there, Kyle?
You're probably saying check out that woman right there.
I'll tell you, we were doing a race one time and it was like really dark. And so our coach was out there and he couldn't see us, but he could hear us. And he said he was horrified by the things Kyle was saying to me.
I love it. Do you say anything back? Oh, you're out of breath, right? You can't.
I don't respond. I just listen. I mean, look, like all kidding aside, like he usually like Kyle's a skilled athlete too. Like that sometimes gets lost in this. And as any good athlete, he knows when to push and he knows when to pull and he knows when to just be compassionate and exhibit more grace, you know, and that's a skill. You know, the mind is a tool that deserves to be sharpened, and Kyle's is really sharp.
But to me, it almost seems like well, I don't know if you're familiar with trotting. It's like you go to the racetrack and there's trotters. And there's like a horse that pulls the you know. To me, it's like it would be almost to me like if the horse was yelling at the guy saying, you know, you're awful at this.
Yeah. Yes.
Or like an Iditarod, you know.
Iditarod
except for you're being whipped.
Yeah, I think you got it backwards. It's the guy yelling at the horse.
Yeah, but it's a good analogy actually, especially the trotting, right? Because the trotting has so much action on that horse, and that's very much Kyle with me. Like the action is consistent and constant.
I'm sorry to go here again, but a little bit. This has political overtones, but it's really I'm just trying to be funny here. Donald Trump always wins his own golf tournaments. Do you guys always win the race? Or
you know what? In the early years, we absolutely celebrated like we did because we were the only ones on the race course. But you know, there's a lot of great athletes that come out and do this with us. But Kyle and I like to win a lot too. So we've picked a few races where nobody will show up. Don't worry.
Well, I think we need to get to a Hall of Fame started and celebrate the winners, the guys, the ones who strive for excellence, the ones who come in, you know, the top 10 every year. How many, like, if you have a marathon, how many participants are there?
It just depends. I mean, we did a half marathon this weekend with our organization. We had 67 teams, and Colin and I did win if we're keeping score, but you know, we've had races as small as these days, like 5 or 7 teams, but it's usually now it's a much bigger movement. What we do, there's a lot of orgs around the country that do it, you know, so you can show up and have 100+ teams. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Cerebral palsy. Do you say it's cerebral or cerebral palsy? I have a godson who has cerebral palsy, and there are different levels of it, right? There are different, I don't know, levels of different conditions that come along with it. Not everybody is wheelchair bound. Is everybody in the race, do they all have cerebral palsy, or is it people with other afflictions?
Yeah, we have a wide range of folks with disabilities, from Down syndrome to autism to Yeah, we see everything along the way.
It's I mean, any inclination of being part of bigger organizations like the CP, there's a CP organization, is muscular dystrophy, all these kind of organizations out there. Do they support this, what you guys are doing, or is that separate?
We just haven't engaged it because we've spent so much energy kind of growing what we do. But as we've grown, we should, because those orgs have a lot of dollars that they can put to work. But because we've been so ambiguous with the types of disabilities we serve, we never wanted to limit ourselves to anyone. We wanted it to truly be inclusive. We just haven't spent a lot of energy trying to see, should we, go get money from MS or CP or other orgs that are out there, and instead focus on our partners and the people helping us raise money, for what we do.
So you're being invited to New Zealand. I don't know if you're aware of this. You're being invited. That would be a good place. I don't know. Yeah. There's probably only 5 people there, though, to be honest. 5 people in a co-op.
Well, Kyle wants to fly over an ocean to race, so who knows? You never know.
Well, yeah. So when is the next one coming up? Do you have?
Yeah, we have a local one at the end of March, a local one in Atlanta, the 5K. So we'll have 30 athletes out there for that race.
Wow. So, and that's the end of the month. Do you have a date? Because
March 28th.
March 28th. And how long does it take to finish a marathon?
We just did a marathon in just under 3 hours, 2 hours and 59 minutes. And the Ironmans take us about 14 hours.
That's amazing. Because I think because I have a friend who's my age and he goes out and runs marathons. I think like 8 hours. 8 hours, 10 hours is fair. It's fair.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Nah.
I'll say, have you guys thought of taking this to, let's say, a winter sport level? So it's not just, like maybe sledding or,
We would. We support an org called the National Ability Center in Park City, Utah, that does skiing and winter sports. Where we live, we don't have a lot of that.
Oh, that's right. You're in Georgia. You guys freak out if you get like a half an inch of snow.
We freak out. Yeah, we freak out.
Yeah, I don't really like the cold winter.
We're supposed to get snow and rain this week. Actually, starting tomorrow. And then we've already got 3 feet of snow here. So all the snow and ice is going to turn to water, and we're going to be flooded out. So I'm just complaining.
Well, if it melts slowly, you won't get flooded out. But if it happens like all at once, I would pack my stuff in the basement and move it to high ground.
You guys got a bunch of New Yorkers down there, like driving you crazy. All these New Yorkers moving down here to get away from the.
No, they go further south. They go down to Florida.
Okay. Well, I know a lot.
They show up in Atlanta. Usually, if they're northerner, they show up in Atlanta. Like my nephew moved to Georgia.
Oh,
Boy, he's in Florida now. He kept going up once he backs and forth between Georgia and Florida. I think he's got 2 places.
Yeah, almost everybody from Long Island is in Georgia now. I shouldn't say almost everybody, but a lot of Long Islanders, for some reason, they go to Atlanta. I don't know. Atlanta seems to be the destination. It's farther enough, but it's not quite Florida. So you don't have to.
Atlanta's the New York of the South, I think.
Yeah. What about celebrity endorsements? Do you have any like movie stars, rock stars, whatever, coming out to support the cause?
No, we need some of those, man. Send those our way too.
Yeah, we do. Get on the chat room. Write to your favorite movie stars, and let them know about this stuff, and we'll do the same. I think that would help get some more eyes on it, right, and more awareness to it.
Yeah.
Okay, stop asking, stop begging. I will endorse it.
All right, go.
I'll do it. Stop.
You know what?
Stop guilting me.
If there is something that we can do along those lines to support this, like putting on some kind of show and donating all the funds to the organization, we would love to get involved in that. Like get a bunch of performers out to do a show and help raise money for the organization. We would love to help you in that way if we could, and maybe bring some awareness to it, and maybe start a grassroots thing there where people start more bigger names in entertainment start coming out and supporting the cause. I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah,
there are a lot of comedians in wheelchairs. So doing a comedy festival down there for people who are wheelchair bound, I mean, I think that might help itself. Just literally a comedy festival. They have to be,
hell yes, this is a good idea. Let's get on this. You're
See,
in charge of it. Put it together.
I'm in charge of it.
You put it together. Produce it.
We should put Steven in charge of it.
All right. Yeah, that's true.
But then it won't get done.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Is there any seriously, we would love to do something like this. Is there any objections like to getting involved in using?
Oh God, none. No, shoot, we'll come up to you guys if you want to do something like that. Like we love that. I think we might actually be in New York in April or May. I
don't know if that's enough time for us to do.
Well, November for the New York City Marathon,
but
yeah.
You know what? Let's brainstorm this offline. I would definitely put a lot of energy into this and move heaven and hell to try to get something so that I feel like some of my karma weight is coming out of my bag and I'm doing
still paying off some debts on karma. Don't worry.
Well, I am inspired by you guys. All day yesterday, we were talking about me getting out of this stump chair and actually moving and doing something. So you guys have provided some inspiration for me. I'm going to try my best to try to make this happen, and we'll be contacting you offline and doing some stuff to help support you in this cause because I think you're doing a great thing for a lot of people. I think
thank you.
It's a selfless cause. Right.
Yeah, I mean, as many things are, but not only is it selfless, but we still get to be involved too. It's the old hair club for men ads, right? So, we're the president and we're members.
I also want to put some Crazy John socks. Crazy John, he's a local entrepreneur. He's a young man who's got cerebral palsy. And he runs a sock company in here. He might want to get involved in some sponsorship and all that stuff. So I'm going to put him in touch with you. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Well, thank you very much for being part of the show. You're an inspiration, and we will do whatever we can to try to support your cause. It's KylePeaseFoundation.org for the people out there. Any final words from you guys?
No, we appreciate you sharing our story and letting you guys come on this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
We appreciate you being here. Have a great day and a great month, and maybe we'll see you at the end of the month.
Sounds great.
Keep in touch. Thanks. Have a great day.
Kyle, thanks for giving Brett something to do with his life. Thank you.
Yeah. Otherwise, otherwise he'd be like me, just sitting around doing this all day.
Yeah, I've been waiting to hear those words for 15 years. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a great day. Bye for now. Kyle and Brent Pease, or Brent and Kyle Pease. What you want to say? Kyle and Brent Pease, right? Kyle.
Well, that's
Kyle
the order
Pease
that they're sitting
Foundation.
in.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to confuse people who are actually watching. People on the radio, it doesn't matter.
I'm already confused. I'm watching. I didn't see that you actually switched anything around in there. So
I did. I switched the names. Yeah.
Can you take that book out of there because it's distracting me now?
Oh yeah, I can take the book out.
I can't because if I do it, it bounces you. I don't know if you're aware about that.
No, I didn't know.
If I say if I bounce the book, you go with it.
I did that. So all my shit. I gotta tell you, the other night I was trying to get ahead of things. Because I knew I was tired and I didn't know if I'd wake up in time to set things up for the Reverend on Sunday. So it was like Sunday morning, like at 2 or 3 o'clock. I came into here and I set everything up. Now, I know if I close it out, I lose everything. All the images and stuff. So I left it open. When I came back 5 hours later, it kicked me out and I had to start all over anyway. So all that work I did was for nothing. I did not know it kicks you out if you don't do something within, I don't know how many hours it is because I was gone for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I went to bed at 2:30 and I came back at 7:30 and I was out.
There has to be some kind of save as draft or something, whatever. It's just.
Yeah, because I was just, I figured, because you know how it is when you're doing a show live, sometimes you like, shit, you could oversleep, you could have a technical problem. At least things are set up and it buys you some extra time. And I thought I had the extra time. I was so I was so proud of myself for thinking of that, Matt. Because the last time I tried to do it, I closed it down, and when I went back in, it was all gone. And that's how I learned that it's not stored.
Yeah, this is not to beat a dead horse or beat a live horse. Why would I beat a dead horse?
Just beat a horse, period. Why the horse?
Well,
we know the ass is so much more fun to beat.
Yeah, I like horses.
Spank the monkey. Why beat the horse? Spank the monkey.
I think you're right. I like horses. Don't beat a horse. Ride a cowboy. What? This Facebook thing. So I'm hired by a client to do ads, and they restrict me, but also on the client side, they can't see the ads that I created. Facebook takes that out. So it's like, why you're punishing the business for something I did, and now I'm feeling guilty, like I'm impacting the business, and I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know. I found several instances where that content is still up. The original one that I shared is still up, and there was no link to anything malicious downloads or any of this stuff. But now I'm feeling guilty. But the thing is, you can't just save the ad. Like, it deleted all the work I did for the client. They can't publish the ad. I can't just tell them, okay, I can't publish it, but you can go in there because there's no restrictions on you. Go publish that. No. And there's no feedback at all. No, when you put in a review, they don't tell you what the status is of the fit.
Okay, now this is kind of crazy. Can you send it to me and then I send it to the client?
No, because it's built in their Meta dashboard.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to make you a partner in their Meta dashboard. Which I said to them, why don't you just delete me and see if it comes back?
Right? Yeah.
I appreciate the offer, but it's just the point I'm getting here. We need, listen, I know we got so many fucking problems going on in the world, but in America, we need to get on these social media platforms. They need to have customer service like a mom and pop style. I know it's hard when you have 6 billion or whatever Facebook has, but they have to have some kind of customer.
They used to have. They did used to have it, but they got rid of them for more profit.
Right.
They got, because in the beginning, I mean, now I don't know that they had great customer service, but they had some customer service, which is better than no customer service.
Right. So basically, I was watching a thing. Part of another. I told you, this is one of these companies that's going to send me a check that I can't cash. But they made me sit through this webinar where they were talking about the Facebook is an economy. I think it's got Facebook's total revenue is more than the United States, China, and Russia combined. Facebook's total revenue. That's if that's the case, and I don't know if it's true, but if it is the case, they can afford to hire some customer service people here. I mean, God, how much? The greed is just off the charts. But I think the threat of congressional intervention in this, and like making some laws where if you run a social media app, you need to have some real customer service. I think that might scare them into doing something. Right now, they don't give a shit about it. They're just taking money in hand over fist and saying fuck the users, fuck the people who are actually supporting us. And you know what? A lot of people don't want ads. You should be able to opt out of the ads and all that stuff. I don't know. As a user, it's just because they're giving away a lot of your data too. Like micro targeting. I can by your age, by your occupation, by I don't know. They know everything about you. I don't remember ever putting this information into Facebook. By the way, what do you do? What are your hobbies? What all that stuff? I don't know where they get.
No, they do just that. Well, they come to conclusions based on the things that you like and don't like. But they still get shit wrong about me all the time. So part of that is the fact that I'm constantly researching stuff for comedy. So I have to look at things that I have no real world interest in.
But
that's probably why they're always trying to sell me high heel women's shoes.
Yeah, because you're researching.
Yes, researching, I guess, as you call it that. Anyway, we're waiting on we're awaiting our next guest, who I don't know what name to call her by. You ever have that go on, like somebody who's got 3 different on a website?
I would have no idea how that works. No.
On a website, it actually comes out and says that this is all the same person, which is kind of weird, right? And she's a very good person, a very nice person, and a dog lover, and I appreciate her. But it says, Blue Haven Press, welcome to the home of award-winning author W.L. Hawken. W stands for Wendy. Their alter ego, Harper Carr, and poet Gail M. Murray.
Yes, it's their alter ego. Like,
right. It should be her.
Yeah, unless there's more than one of her. Now, it's funny, the Rev got asked to host a show last night. They want the Rev to host in a few weeks. I said he couldn't possibly do it before like the second week of April, because I have other shows to prepare for. I can't study for him too. I can't help him prepare.
Yeah.
Because I do all of his writing. I'm too busy. I am way behind in stuff right now. I'm so far behind.
So far behind.
Yeah.
So just coming back to these, I guess I'm sorry I am beating a dead horse here, but and a poor horse. He's already dead. Leave him alone. Just getting beat up by people who want to book their clients on this show, and then they're angry at me because they didn't watch the examples. And I tell it says right on the booking page, watch a sample of the show, the morning show or the evening show, whatever you want to book yourself on, and see what to expect. To be told like, well, what was this? You kind of ambushed them with a panel show. Like, what are you talking about? I think about like panel show. Who was on yesterday? And I forgot that Beaver came on late in the show, and I think it was just me and GD. That's not a panel. It's two, and it was just 2 people. That's not a panel. Does 2 people constitute a panel?
No, I think 2 people is a slat. I think you need. I think 2 people are a slat, and then you need like 8 slats to make a panel. I think I'm terrible at doing woodwork.
Yeah. So basically, I want to use you to help promote my clients, and then I'm going to get angry at you for the way you do it, even though you told me the way you do it in advance. This is what you got to put up with when you sign up for this dopey job. I don't. It's what do they call it? Pet peeve. Stop complaining. Yes. Complaining about publicity that I'm. Looks like my guest is here. Except, see.
Now my version of a pet peeve is
confused.
different. My version of a pet peeve is different than your version of a pet peeve.
Right.
Mine is funnier, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Tell me about your pet peeve before we bring. I don't know her name.
My version of pet peeve is that my wife and I have a cat, and we use the cat. We talk to each other through the cat.
Oh yeah,
so
my wife.
So if my wife look at the cat and go, "Your dad's over there farting on the sofa." So she doesn't say it to me; she says it to the cat so that I can hear it. Yeah. And so that's why we call it pet peeves, because we say our peeves to the pets.
Yeah, my wife does the same thing. I think that's a pretty a universal marriage thing.
Yeah, that's why it worked in my comedy, because people with pets immediately recognized it. They're like, oh yeah, and then so we turned it into I turned it into a Lord of the Flies thing, that he who has the cat can talk. And so in order for us to have a discussion, we take the cat back and forth, and we have the discussion through the cats. It's pretty funny. It works real well. It's fun.
My wife must have been listening to you too, because I think she did that. Oh, that dopey voice you do when you talk to pets. That thing.
That's actually that doesn't come from listening to me. That's something they teach you at the pet store. Oh. Well, they do. They teach you at the pet store.
But none of our pets came from the pet store. They were
but you buy materials. You buy supplies. Oh. As soon as you walk in, and they're like. You have cat food, you got dog food. Okay.
I think at
here,
one
come over
time
here.
in the past, you used to actually go to stores and buy the stuff. Now it all just comes. It just gets here.
Yeah, but then that's when they
just
back in
gets
it. Yeah, it started off back then when people would have to go to the store and they'd say, so you have a dog? Yeah. Do you have a dog voice? A what? A dog voice.
Well,
You know, when you're talking to your dog, it's like, where's my little baby Jubby? Oh, my little puppy Jubby.
Our next guest is a dog lover. So I wonder if she talks like that.
If she has any pet peeves. Yeah,
I don't know what to call her because she has three names. I know her as Wendy.
Well, so does Peter Pan. When he like comes into the window, he goes, Wendy, and she goes, at least let me get dressed, Peter. What's wrong with you? You have like no boundaries whatsoever. I'm sorry.
All right. Harper Carr. I'm going to read what it says in here in the intro. And then she can tell me, whatever. Harper Carr finds magic everywhere in Jeff Altman's hat. And naturally it lands in her books. Her Man in Black series combines genres, mystery, thriller, urban fantasy, sci-fi, time travel, which is my favorite subject of all, and historical fiction. Stories support the LGBTQ, there's no plus there, community, and edgy and suit older teens. She's her latest book is The Shadow Man, which is about a ghost in a lighthouse. She's here now, and I don't know her name, so I'm just going to say hello, Wendy Harper. Good morning.
Hello, Matt. And is it GD?
Yes.
That's GD. I'm sorry. I am very rude about introducing him. I never do. I just let people figure it out on their own.
No worries.
Yeah. So we were just, I was at your website, which I'm sad to say that I don't visit more often. And right on the homepage, it says, welcome to the home of award-winning author W.L. Hawken and their alter ego, Harper Carr, and poet Gail M. Murray. Why?
Why? Okay.
Yes, why?
Yes, I know. And I was listening to you guys chat for the last 15 minutes. So I thought I'd mess with you a little bit. And so that's why I put Wendy/Harper, which I actually use on a lot of my emails these days. So I'll clear it up a little bit. So first of all, Gail M. Murray is not me. That is an actual poet. She is an actual poet that I published her book on through Blue Haven Press because I'm also a publisher. Okay.
All right. All right. So now there's just two of you.
No, now there's just two of me. I've been a lot of people over my life, but anyway, this is my latest incarnation as Harper Carr. So what happened is I went to a writer's retreat in September 2024, and we were chatting about rebranding ourselves. And I was in a space where I was like, I really need something. I was feeling, just like you get sometimes when you've been writing a long time and things seem to be on a stall. And so Jonas Saul, who's a thriller writer, was talking about when he changed his name, how things just really started to move for him. And I thought, okay, that's a great idea. I really resonated with that because I changed my name already once, maybe twice. And so I sat down and I thought, okay, the other thing with W.L. Hawken, people always spelled my name wrong. So I was getting Hawkins and I was getting Hawking with a G, Stephen.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I just want like a name. And then with WL, people never knew what to call me. And they'd be say, hey, hi, WL. And I was like, no. And so I thought I want a nice name that just kind of works. And so Carr is my maiden name. That's where I originally was at Carr. And that's got that Celtic kind of feel to it. And then Harper, I just love Harper because it's kind of androgynous.
And wasn't Harper a book company, a book publishing company? Like I think it was the Harper Press or something.
Maybe. I mean, maybe you're thinking about Harper Lee that wrote To Kill a Mockingbird too.
Well, I thought about that as well.
Yeah,
me too.
Harper's Bazaar is something too. I don't know.
What? My presumption was that you didn't want to split your audience, because I think in the publishing world, I know in the music world and in the film world, and they want you to do the same thing. They don't want you, if you're a sci-fi romance fantasy writer, you're not going to be in young adult. I don't know. They want kind of to pigeonhole you into this is what you write or this is what you write. And I was assuming the different alter ego was about just keeping the audience aligned with one niche. So
you're right. You're right. I mean, that's kind of what happened too, is that Harper Carr writes more for young adults. And so I'm going to keep the W.L. Hawken for the Hollystone series, which I have 5 books in now. And that one is pretty edgy. And then also I have the romantic suspense series, Lure Romances. I'm going to keep that one through W.L. Hawken. But then Harper Carr's got a couple of young adults. But just to mix it up, the other thing we talked about was rebranding our books. And so when I came home, I took my whole Hollystone Mysteries series and rebranded them all, writing them as Harper Carr. And so that series is now The Man in Black. Okay. Right. And they all have new titles and new covers. And, they're not exactly, they're for older teens. And that's why I said for older teens, because, you know, maybe you remember, I don't know, but they are a little bit edgy. That's the one with the bisexual gothic magician and Wicca coven priest. So, but teens are the ones who buy them.
I have a question for you. There was a Harper's Publishing House, a Harper's Publishing Company, but that's beside the point. What I want to know is, when you're writing as Harper as opposed to Wendy, when you're writing as Harper, do you think Harper, or so if someone walked into a room and go Wendy, you wouldn't even notice them because you're Harper right now?
Not quite. No, when I'm writing, I'm actually in whatever character I'm writing. But the thing when I was choosing names is I had to decide, if someone came into the room and said Harper, would I look around to see who they're talking about, or would I actually identify with that? And I thought, yeah, I can identify with Harper, no problem.
So you don't think separately, like two separate entities, or so no. You're writing as Harper. You don't have Harper's voice in your head as opposed to Wendy's.
No.
Okay, I guess it's just me.
The Shadow Man is about a ghost in a lighthouse. Yes.
A few ghosts, yeah.
Yeah, ghost in a lighthouse. That's an interesting thing, because we where I am. We have quite a few lighthouses, and there's a lot to. This is a very common theme where people think all lighthouses have some ghost, some kind of ghostly apparitions that happen now and then. Like it's just a very common theme. Why do you think that is? Why do we think lighthouses or assume every lighthouse is haunted in some way?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think for one thing, lighthouses have that sort of romantic feel. And that romantic feel sometimes has that spirits thing to it as well. And then the second thing is they're beside the ocean, and so many people have died, so many shipwrecks, so many people have drowned, that kind of a thing, that there is a tendency to think there's going to be dead people in the area.
I tend to think this because the lighthouses have like the revolving light, which creates all these shadows. Oh. And when people look at the shadows, they often see things that aren't there per se. They project their mental images upon it. And it's like it casts a shadow on a tree, and all of a sudden a tree does this. It's like, that's a ghost, you know. Yeah. And then it doesn't take long to think that, well, the ghost's got to live somewhere. He's near the lighthouse. He must live there.
Yeah. Now you're in a whole different country, one called Canadadia or something, right? Or it's Canadadia, it's something like that. A different country, not in the United States of America. The greatest country on
so you're in British
the greatest country in the nation, as Senator Mullen would say, the greatest country in the nation. But so I'm just curious, because it's young adults, older teens, and LGBTQ content in the United States of America right now. That would be satanic. It would be just evil. It would be. Is it? And I hate to make it all political, but I don't. I'm lying. I don't hate to make it political. I say I hate to when I actually love to. But is there a difference in the attitude in Canada, that country that you live in?
Absolutely, totally. I mean, we are so pro LGBTQ plus here. I mean, it's a thing it's open arms here.
It seems different parts, because I think if I ask somebody in Quebec, they might have a different attitude than somebody in Vancouver. Or am I wrong about that?
I don't know, because I haven't talked to anybody in Quebec, so I'm not
worth
sure.
talking to.
And I also don't listen to the
them all the
news,
time.
so yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, we've had quite a few, and they seem to be very almost MAGA, which it would be MACA. Oh no, MAGAC.
The Quebecians are so difficult to deal with sometimes.
They are. I mean, they come on as almost Trumpers and wanting to be part of. Listen, I'm going way too deep into. But for young adults, how do you get in the mindset of writing for people? You know, it's a generation away, right? So, do you find that?
It's more than a generation. It's like 2 or 3 generations.
Well, okay, but to get into that mindset for them, because I can't. The youth of today, I have no understanding of where their mind is at, and I try to be open-minded. I had a conversation with a young college student yesterday, and he was a musician, and he asked what kind of music I do, and then he said, like, what is that? Because he's an electronic DJ type of, and so it was like, it was tough to kind of get on common ground in writing for that audience. Do you experience that?
Not so much. I mean, there's a few things. Sorry, I just woke up and my throat's a little bit gravelly. I don't usually get up at like 6 o'clock to talk to people, but
oh yeah, thank you.
Usually wait till 6:15.
Yeah.
7:21.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, it's late in the day already. Come on, get up.
I haven't been talking yet. So a few things. First of all, I love the age of 17, and I remember being 17. It was a crazy time for me, and a lot of stuff happened. And I was a real at-risk kid. So I remember all of that. And it's such an emotional time. And really, I think when you're writing for young adults, I also read young adult stuff all the time, and review it. So I've got a good idea of what's out there and what the kids are reading. And also, it's not that different, I don't think. Except it's a lot more emotional.
On the human level, it's not that different, but the world, the outside world, and the experiences and the culture of being young, it changes in a lot. But I agree.
What does at risk mean in British Columbia? Because in the United States, at risk means you could wind up being a MAGA supporter as a teenager. You could grow up. You could, at risk, you could be like a Republican. So what's at risk in Canada?
Well, we're not, I don't think we're as political as you guys up here. I don't know. We don't think about that. At risk means you could get yourself hurt, or possibly you could not get through it. You might die. You put yourself in situations where, you could get into some big messes. Could end up in jail. You could end up quitting school. You could end up, all sorts of stuff.
But a Canadian jail is probably not much different than, Canadian jail is probably nicer than our American colleges, our U.S. colleges.
I don't know.
Vancouver life is not like the Yukon. It's more moderate, right? It's more almost like a California vibe. Yeah. Or
I would say California or Seattle.
Yeah, because it's real close. I mean, there's some parts of Vancouver you actually see the U.S. You can actually see. I think it's Seattle. You can see from Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's
so The thing, because I think you're aware that a couple of days ago, I found a photograph of me from when I was 18, and I put it into AI, and it brought me my 18-year-old self back to life in ways that surprised the hell out of me, because it's just a still photo bus shot from bus up, and basically it captured me walking around, and a lot of my mannerisms. Like, how does AI know that? But for me, watching that, it was like almost getting in a time machine and going back. Do you have that kind of experience in writing for young adults, is kind of re-experiencing that magic time of 17, 18, that really it's the glory years of life, right? Do you is it that kind of experience where it's almost like time travel?
Yeah, kind of a little bit. And I loved that video you did. I actually really would love to do that. I love that. That was just so
It,
cool. And was
it,
that your voice too?
yeah, it was my voice through a lot of different filtering and all that stuff. But yes,
That's
I sang it. It definitely, there's like pitch correct and stuff in there too.
so amazing. That is really so amazing. Yeah, I was really impressed with that. And I want to do it. If I could
Yeah,
find a photo, I don't know if I have any photos of just like
that's
something clear enough of what I looked like when I was a teenager. I think that would be so fun to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was a really it's a bit of just trying to reconnect with who you were, and like and looking at myself through a lens of 50 years removed from that, who I was then. And again, the name of the song is Don't Let Me Cross Your Mind, but ironically, if I were to die today, I would want that to be the way people remember me. Like, there's some, because there were no, people didn't have cell phones to record you in video. There's no documentation of the person I was then. So for me, it was like, oh, look, now I have a documentation of the 18-year-old I was in some form. So
You know,
it's fun.
well, I have a question in the sense that, I ran into a teacher that I had when I was in high school, or when I was a teenager. And when I ran into him, it was a teacher that I really liked. And I remembered him very fondly. And I said, Mr. Cohen, I said, and he recognized me right away. And I said, it was the time that I had in your class, like the best time the best time in high school. And I said, I was so happy back then. He goes, no, you weren't. He goes, you were such a miserable child. He goes, and then he reminded me of all the stuff that I was going through at home. And then I remembered, that's right, I was a miserable child. I was just happy to be at school, to be away from home. It was totally different. I had a totally different, because of his class, I forgot how miserable the rest of my life was. And he had to
Yeah.
remind me, but so I just wondered, is there like a danger? Is like going back, in other words, misremembering or category, or saying, you understand what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
things weren't, maybe, I don't know, what was it
Like
when you
false
write?
memories. You're thinking
Yeah,
about
when you write, do you romanticize it, or is it more?
no, I don't I don't romanticize my teenagers at all. It was difficult, but I love that you said you had a teacher, because I had a couple of teachers that kind of saved me during those years, and both of them were English teachers. And I think that's how I ended up really on this path to being a writer, because things were not great at my home, and I ended up leaving school when I was 16. And but both those teachers, one in grade 8, you probably have the same grades, grade 8 and one in grade 10, really saw the writer in me and supported me, and so that helped a lot. But yeah, no, I look back at that and I think, what were the problems in my life? And those same problems are the problems the kids are having today. And a lot of it is parents, right? Parents are a
Yeah,
huge issue, because you're at that space in between, wanting a family, wanting to belong, and wanting to find love, which you find pretty much every day somewhere else, right? It's like, who am I in love with today? And that changes a lot, all that crush stuff that's going on. And then also hating your parents because they're trying to put some kind of reins on you and hold you back from, you're ready to run and you're ready to try all this stuff on, and they're trying to save you somehow. And but you resent that. So it's like, just get out of my face and leave me alone. And I think that's part of it. I mean, for me, I did not have a good relationship with my dad. I had both parents, but they weren't particularly fond of each other from my memories. And my dad was an Anglican layman, so he was in the church a lot. And so I had this double view of him being in the church and being super nice to everybody, but then not being nice to my mother, which I did not like. And then I didn't have a good relationship with him. He didn't talk to me, but he would talk to everybody around me. And then I'd get called down to the office, and the principal would say, your dad has this issue. So I resented that as well, that they didn't talk to me. And then he did the ultimate, I can talk about this because I wrote a piece a few years ago called Bad Girl, the Legacy of the Father-Daughter War. He did the ultimate thing you do not do to your children, which is he called the police on me when I was 14 because I had some kids over to my house on Easter Monday and we had some pot. And he had the narcs show up in my bedroom and he orchestrated the whole thing. And I got dragged away with these 4 kids to the police station. I had to stay there all day. And then he showed up at 5 o'clock going, yeah, I've just been waiting. So that was a lot to forgive. And then that had the opposite effect because all the good kids, I lived in rural Ontario, and all the good kids were told, get away from her. She's bad. She's a bad girl.
Oh.
You cannot spend time with her. So then I had to look farther afield towards Toronto to find friends. So that took me hitchhiking when I was like 15 to get away from it. And then when I started like leaving and wanting to go to the suburbs and all that to find people, then I was on probation. Oh, sorry, I went to court. I had to go to court for this as well, you know. And I remember I had made this like pink dress with puffy sleeves and a little collar, and I looked like I tried to be as angelic as I possibly could, standing there in court in front of the judge. And they gave me 2 years probation when I was 14, 2 years with curfews so that my parents could control me. And so, you know, all that stuff about when you pull on the reins on the horse, what does the horse do? Yeah.
Wow.
So then after that, I mean, really, that was the first. And then I kept going, and then they put me on home confinement. And that was the day I told my parents to fuck off. I mean, I really, in those words, I really had enough. And so as soon as I could get out, I got out. And then I
appreciate you sharing this with us.
But I picked all the wrong people. Okay. So then I picked all these like very dangerous people to hang out with. And that's why, I mean, I'm really surprised. When I think back now, I'm like,
I think that's why I like you so much, because I feel that energy. Listen, I've shared a lot of that experience, and I appreciate you sharing that with us because I think, and I don't want to get too like melancholy around this kind of stuff, but I think reliving kind of those things. Yeah, I think youth is something that I miss being youthful. But if I'm honest with myself, there are things that I would like to fix in my past, which attracts me to this whole time travel, the thoughts of that. And I've been listening to a lot of physics guys talking about the past is still alive, which drove me to kind of doing those videos and stuff. Just trying to resolve unresolved things from my youth that I wish had gone differently. And choices that I made that I wish I had made the right choices. You talk about surrounding yourself with the wrong people. When I ran away from home at 14, I made some really bad choices, and I wish I could change them for the better. And it definitely it has some big residual effects later on in life about regret and things about. So are you resolving those in your writing? Is the artistic expression a resolution of some of those stuff?
I think so, possibly, and an exploration. You know, I mean, I had to resolve it with my parents. I mean, they're both gone now, And
Right.
it took a long time for me to resolve it with my father. It just yeah. But what are you going to do? I mean, you just have to do something. I think if we had met back then, we would have probably been in a band together.
Yeah.
What did you play?
I played piano, and I loved to sing, and I wanted to be a singer when I was very young. Yeah.
Is it too late for us? Come on, let's do it.
With this voice, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Janis Joplin, did it with her
that's
voice.
true.
You just have to belt it out. You just have to convince people that's the way you want to sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my father was very much like your father in that at home, not a whole lot of love there. Everybody else loved him. Everybody else, other people had a way different perception of him from the outside looking in. He was funny. He was everybody loved him. He was a favorite of everybody, and in the house, he was a monster. He was not a nice guy.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that whole dual identity thing is troubling when you're a kid. It really is. I think when I try and think where my father was coming from, I think he was scared to death of me and what I was going to do. And but on the other, so it was difficult though, because he really was close to my sister, who was older than me. And I was kind of the little rebel. And so he just couldn't kind of,
Now, do you know if you were an accident?
No, I was not an accident. Not at all. My dad was an RCAF, that's the Canadian Air Force, tail gunner in World War II. And so I'm surprised he even got through that, because I think he lost most of his whole company. And they went after the tail gunners, So I do. It took me a lot of sort of getting to know my dad to say, okay, he just could not relate to me for whatever reason. And I think it might have been because I'm a lot like him.
That's almost the worst.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. But yeah, so he came home from the war, and he had PTSD, which they didn't call it in those days, but he was a vet. And I mean, he was in England, so he used to like have dreams where he was like crawling under the bed and just saying, shut up the lights, and all this stuff. So my mom was dealing with that. So she said it took her, when he got home from the war, it took her like 6 years to get my sister. And then it took another 6 years to get me. So, and that was it for kids. And so it wasn't an accident. She wanted me. I think they wanted me, but I think that their relationship was really hard after that. And, I mean, they lived through a lot, our parents, like our generation of parents, right?
Yeah, I think the difficulty when a child is a lot like the parent is that, well, first of all, quite often parents have regrets. And when people in general don't see themselves accurately, they usually see themselves or reflected in other people. And that's how they get to know themselves. So when they see a child that's just like them, that is them learning about themselves in a sense for the first time. And then they see their flaws, and now they want to fix their flaws through the child. They want, so they're like, I know I was a hellraiser. I see that hellraiser in that child. I don't want that child to go through that same thing. And so, or I could have been a really good athlete if I just applied myself. So I'm going to teach my child to apply themselves so that they could be a good athlete like I should have been.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that for sure. Yeah. So for me, when I'm writing, I'm thinking from the child's perspective of what they want. And then I'm thinking about the parents and what they want and what they're afraid of and how they're putting their own stuff onto the child. And that works really well. I mean, I'm writing sort of a sequel right now. I've just started drafting another book, and it spins off my first book, To Charm a Killer, or The Witch Killer, where I left the 17-year-old girl in Ireland she had to flee there, and she's with a brand new family and her mother. And she's always loved horses, and her mother would never let her be near horses, even when they had, like, the neighbors next door had horses and wanted her to ride, but her mother was like, no. And then she finds out it's because her mother was a horse person in Ireland and was in love with the guy who owned the horse barn, and a big problem happened there. And now they're back there, and she wants to be at that horse barn. So there's that thing happening, and the mother's going, no, you can't do that. So, you know, I think people are trying to work through their own stuff through all of this. But my dad was spiritual. Sorry. My dad was very spiritual.
That's exactly where I wanted to go. You're reading my mind, because I want to talk about, there's a lot of spirituality, this spirit. I mean, obviously in a haunted lighthouse, there's spirit here, but there's more than just that kind of spirituality. There's kind of ties to spirit, and so I'm wondering what your perspective on that is. Is it like traditional religious idea of what spirit is? Is it energy? What is your take on?
Well, I come from more of a pagan perspective, right? As you might have seen in some of my bios, I've studied Wicca and Druidry, and I come from that perspective of believing in reincarnation and that spirits, like life works in spirals rather than linear time, which I'm sure you can relate to if you're into time travel. And so I do believe there are spirits, and I've seen them quite a bit and experienced them myself. So because of that, I'm able to write those kind of spirit things, I think, with some authenticity. Like, I've seen spirits. One Christmas Eve, for sure, I woke up and I was awake. I was maybe in a liminal state where my brain waves were still lower, but there was somebody standing at the end of my bed, and it was, clear enough that I could see a form and a body. And I just got the feeling that there was somebody there to protect me, or to say, I wanted to see you at Christmas.
To protect you. See, I would have and I think in my youth I had a very similar experience, but it frightened me so much I got like a paralysis from it. But you mentally went to a place that this is a good thing, somebody there to protect you, where this is somebody who came to hurt me or something like that. It's kind of a different perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about this, because I talk about it a lot when there are a lot of ladies who write paranormal romance,
right?
And where does because I do believe on some level that there are people who are put here in this physical presence to be together, and sometimes it doesn't work out. People are put into your life to teach you stuff and all that stuff, but the romance part with the spirit rather than the physical is confusing to me. There's a lot of paranormal romance. What is the
I don't think it's much different than having a crush on a fictional character or a celebrity. If you're having
except that you can't consummate it with something that's not physical, right?
Well, exactly.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Right?
Right.
So I think, and this comes up in the book too, that romance, the relationship, love, let's say love, that love is about a lot more than just having sex with the person, right? So I mean, there's a lot of that, and it's more about love than it is about anything else. So
wow.
I think that's possible. Have I been in love with a ghost? No, I haven't myself. But I've certainly got some celebrity crushes, and I definitely have had a thing with my main character in my books. So
yeah, I've been very vulnerable about this, putting this stuff out there, but it's because it's a little bit, I don't know, embarrassing in some way about the person I was in the youth. After that video that I did with recapturing myself at 18, I kind of created a video from a relationship that I had that felt like love at first sight. It was a girl I had seen from across an event that was happening. It was at a beach that I was working at. She was there as a volunteer for an organization that was happening. Our eyes met, and we were drawn to each other like incredibly, like a magnet. And it just was like a very hot but very brief romance, and there were lots of things that happened in between that, and I recreated that. And I've been thinking about this idea of love at first sight being part of reincarnation in some way, and it sounds like a little I know, hokey to say that, but the idea that spirits come into your life supposedly it's supposed to go bad to teach you something about yourself, and and dealing with the lessons that I've learned from it. Does that resonate with you at all in any way?
Totally. I think I've spent most of my life searching for somebody who I was with in the 1800s who died, and that love was so intense, but I don't even think he's on the planet right now. But I think he has been around in my life, especially when I was younger, as a spirit guide. So yeah, but that has got me into a lot of trouble too, because I've been searching. So I've been looking and getting into situations.
I appreciate you sharing that, because I mean, that resonates with me, but I feel like if I say that in the wrong company, I'm crazy. I think the first time I met you, I think I called you crazy and you laughed, and but that kind of stuff, I'm shy about even relating that kind of idea, because people will look at you and say, well, that's just crazy. That's just crazy.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I had this very intense vision when I was in my mid-30s, and I was like leaving my ex-husband, and I was meditating for 3 or 4 hours a day, because that's how I was keeping sane. And I had a very intense vision during that time of this person carrying me down a river, and then him being shot in the chest. And we were indigenous at that point. And then somebody in a red coat, I'm not going to name any names here, saying, kill her too. And me dying on top of him. And the intensity in that vision, I have never, ever experienced anything like that in this like life I'm in right now. It was so intense. And after that, I went to a psychic, and she said, who is that man standing behind you? And I said, does he have a scar? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, holy shit. Right. So, I mean, I do believe
I would want to communicate with them myself at that point. Like, can you leave the room and just put like us in communication with?
But I did. And then when I got into doing like visualization and things, we used to do it in groups when I was in my 30s, I guess too. And my friend was leading us through one day, and we went into this sort of zone where we met whoever, and he was there, and I would not leave. And I got into such a thing with, like, it was so intense with him. I could hear her voice in the background saying, Wendy, come back. And I was like, I'm not coming back. And she was getting afraid. And because she told me after, I was like, oh, what am I going to do with you? And he said, it's okay. You can come back anytime. So I totally believe. So then I went back, but I totally believe in that. And yeah, there are spirits in pretty much all my books.
Yeah, I appreciate. Again, there's so much stigma about talking about this kind of stuff, and people's, and I shouldn't care about judgment. Feynman, who I've been listening to a lot, he says, just stop caring what people think about you, and just be authentic and be true, and don't give a damn what people. And that's a really difficult thing. Just coming to that. Now you I know you have a dog, and you seem to, it's a rescue dog, right, or a therapy dog, right?
I do. I have my yellow lab. Yeah, Skaha.
Yeah, yellow lab. So the animals in your life, your yellow lab, or do they play any part in your spirituality?
My spirituality.
Yeah, because I just lost a dog, and it
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
my
your retriever.
Yeah, wasn't my dog. It's my stepdaughter's dog, but I love that dog more than
Yeah,
any dog I've ever had a relationship
yeah,
with.
yeah.
And I like to think that they are on the same level as human beings.
Yes,
Whatever happens after this,
yes.
that energy is still there. Like that
Yeah.
she's still out there somewhere.
Let me tell you, I was just, when I was sort of waking up this morning, I was remembering that because I knew we were going to talk about spirits. And I absolutely remember when my dog Putty died. Now, Putty was before Skaha. So I had Putty for 12 years. He was a golden retriever. He was the love of my life. He was just the sweetest. I mean, golden retrievers, they're just it, right? And when he passed, it was very quick. He had cancer. He never said anything to me. He just suddenly had cancer and he was gone. And it took me 5 years, but I really remember one night lying in bed and hearing him, feeling him walk into the room and lie down poof on the floor beside my bed. And I was like, oh my God, he's here. I've got goosebumps right now. So they do not leave you. They do not leave you. And I actually had to say, after 5 years, I had still had his ashes after 5 years because I was having trouble even going for a walk without him because I was like, what the heck am I doing out here by myself? This is stupid, right?
Yeah.
I had to take his ashes and we went and spread them at a place that we always used to walk over a bridge. And I had to let him go, and which I did. And then after that, I was able to get Skaha as a puppy. And so that's kind of what happened there. But Matt, I'm sure they're still around. I'm sure. Unless you specifically say, go ahead, go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking at the Shadow Man book over here on the left hand side of the screen there, and I'm assuming that's Graceland in a lotus position, meditating. You mentioned meditating before. Is that a part of your life? You do that every day?
I try because that's where my muses come in. When when I lower my brain waves, that's where I'm able to really connect, and that's where the stories come from. It's like I can't just sit down in my normal, like I am right now. I couldn't just sit down at the typewriter and go, I'm going to write a story, which is, by the way, what we ask teenagers to do in school. In English class, so we're going to write stories today. Okay, everybody go. Doesn't work like that. If you write music, I'm sure the same.
Yeah.
Or comedy.
So that's what I was going to ask you about, because in meditation, and I've been in and out of it all my life, but lately I've been just trying to use that as a tool for creative process. And for me, it's really hard to get quiet because the voice, everything that's going on in my life just doesn't shut up. The voice is very loud between the ears. Is that in the creative process? Do you find that helps you write and be more creative and be more true?
Absolutely. Like I wrote a whole book about this called Writing with Your Muse, where I discuss it's a Hawken book, by the way, where I discuss finding your muse, and it's called A Guide to Spiritual Inspiration. But I would suggest, if you're having trouble getting quiet, because that whole sit there in the absolute quiet and just follow your breath is so almost impossible. It's a practice, and you have to keep practicing. And the idea is when the voices come in, then you're like, okay, there's a voice, but I'm going to go back to my breath again. I find it much easier to use visualization, where someone is guiding me on a visualization, and that will bring me into a lower brainwave position, or walking in nature. that does too, or listening to quiet music, like something where you're going into a non-ordinary state, and that changes your brain waves, and then that allows your creative juices to get flowing, and your muses, whatever they are, to get going. So, and that's why that time in the liminal time, between sleep or between waking and sleeping, where you're kind of partially awake, and in the morning when you first wake up, if you can grab that time, that's the time when you're going to be most productive.
I totally agree with all that, and I love walking as a tool for meditation, walking in nature as a tool for meditation. It's easier for me to let it happen in that sense than just sitting in a quiet place like Graceland seems to be doing there, like out in the ocean. That would be more, I'd hear the waves and all this stuff, where you're doing something automatic, your body is into the automatic motion, you can forget about everything, and then your brain just whatever. It's a curious thing how that works, how you can get into that state.
And there is such a thing as walking meditation. I also have a friend who kayaks, and that's where everything happens for her. It's like getting out of there. It's really just about calming yourself, right? Calming that mental monkey mind chatter that's going on all the time, where we're like,
so that's now Graceland is I'm certain, and I hate to like this sounds like I'm accusing you. I'm certain there's a big part of her that's you, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Do you, in writing this, it's weird that I'm asking this. Is there a sadness that comes at the end of a book that you don't want to let that character go? Like I've just really got this connection now to this character I've created or been assimilated as part of me, and now I'm done. For me, the finite part of being done has always created like a sadness around it. Do you ever have any of that?
Not so much. And I mean, I think probably because I know I can get them back again if I want to. Like they're not dead.
That's a peaceful thought, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're still there. The part of her that I think, the part of me that's really in her is the whole idea of being such an introvert. Like she's super introverted, and she uses academics to sort of shield herself emotionally. After her mother jumps from a cliff, and she's stuck in her aunt's house with an abusive cousin. She spends 4 years just being academic because she doesn't want to feel. And and then when she goes back to the lighthouse after her father kills himself, well, no, actually her father dies. He doesn't kill himself. He dies in a fire and leaves her a note saying, actually, your mother didn't jump from the cliffs. I killed her. I pushed her over the cliff. And that's what she's facing, is sort of a murder-suicide with her parents. So talk about dysfunctional parents. And then she goes back to sort of figure out what really happened.
Blue Haven Press is in the bottom, but because we mentioned the magic word, I have to run this for about a minute here now. Suicidal ideation, gold star 988.
That's interesting. Suicidal ideation is there because it's definitely those things come up in the story.
Right, and just mentioning the word suicide on YouTube, they get a little antsy about it. So we always we try to run this little scroll while that word comes up, just to say that we're not glorifying. We definitely don't want anybody to do that. We want people to know that there's hope, and you can reach out. And if you're feeling anything along those lines, or have any residual issues around that, you can call and talk to people about it and get.
And speaking of residuals, if you record it, people can make money off of it. Aren't those residuals? Yeah.
Yes, residual payments.
Yes.
Fine, be that way. So Blue Haven Press, we'll come back to that right now. So do you hear back from young adults about? Do you get a lot of feedback from young adults about the books?
Well, this book just came out, So, I
February
mean,
24th, right?
yeah, but I did have a young adult, I had teen beta readers, and they came from, I talked to a librarian at a school, and she sent me some kids that she thought would be good. And one in particular was so great. And she sort of stayed with me. So I just sent her a copy of the book, and she was thrilled to get it. So that really helps, because they do give a bit of a different perspective, and I listen to what they say. So at one part where the girl is thinking, suddenly they're going to get married, and she's like, wait a second, she's too young to get married. She shouldn't be thinking about getting married. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I will look at that. So that's a good reason to have them, because it isn't just a thing that you do when you're, 17, 18.
I try to think back, because I think I've always had people say, well, you're old now. Of course, you're thinking about the big picture and life beyond this existence. I think I've always had a lot of interest in spirituality and, what the meaning of life and what this whole physical experience is about. And I'm just wondering, obviously, if the young people are reading your books, they are interested in this stuff. I just would love to have conversations with young people about their perspective on this, just to try to connect to where I was at that age and what I thought about all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a high school teacher for like many years and just retired. So I've had a lot of, I've had a lot of conversations. I was an English teacher, but I was also working with at-risk kids in the high school. So I've had a lot of talks with teenagers, and I feel like I do understand where they're coming from, and I know what they're reading, and I know what they're talking about for the most part. So yeah. And there are a lot of spirituality. I think spirituality is the top on of a lot of people's lists when they're thinking about things,
I think and this is just my experience, the group that I grew up with, guys who just could care less about the big picture. Like, they were just thinking in the moment, naturally, just dudes, thinking about dude stuff all the time and not really thinking about. And it was really not encouraged to kind of be philosophical or anything about life or any of that, and definitely not talk to your friends about it. Like, guys just don't share emotions or even deep thoughts like that. It'll all very surface level, immediate gratification type of stuff, which guys, teenagers do, and young men do. So I don't remember having any of those kind of deep conversations. Does that guide your writing in any way, or like the conversations you've had with young people as a teacher?
I'm sure it's in there. I mean, everything. I think that everything happens to you as a writer, is going to come out in some way. It's in your consciousness,
right?
So when I'm seeing things that I think are happening in the book, that I'm writing it's just coming out.
Yeah. Is it a fun process? Would you describe it as fun, or is it more? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I love writing. I mean, the whole creative part is it feeds me spiritually. I mean, that's why I do it. It's certainly not for any kind of a monetary gain. That's for sure.
No, I understand that, but like, I'm listen, I know I have two people who are listening right now who hate Billy Joel. They hate him for whatever reason. They hate him, but I find great inspiration in the man. He's been one of the most prolific hit makers and all this kind of whatever you want to say. But listening to him talk, he says he hates songwriting. He likes finishing the song and knowing it got done, but he hates the actual process of it. And that, for me, for somebody who's been so successful and really good at what he does, in my opinion, it just seemed weird how you can, because I do enjoy the process of writing more so than the finished product. When it's done, it's kind of like, okay, it's done, move on to the next thing. And sometimes I'm moving on to the next thing even before it's done. But I really love that process. And so not everybody shares your, yes, it's fun. I like it. And that's why
is it possible that that's just his viewpoint now, that at some point he really liked the process of writing because it's kind of a release, and then you get to the point where you're doing it so often. It's like, hurry up! I want to get to the finished part so I can start making some money or something. You know, I want to start performing it. Because at some point you get to a point where maybe it's more fun to perform, or you need the adulation more frequent, more so. And so you can't get the adulation while you're still writing the song. So you want it over with so you can get the adulation. You can take your bows.
Possible. That's certainly possible. I hear what you're saying. Like the idea of wanting,
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
The reward part of it.
Ask him, call him, have him call me. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that fun is the word for it. I mean, when I think of fun, I think of, I don't know what I think of. Do I have fun? Fun, I like hanging out with my daughter or something. We have fun. We tell jokes. We like, mess around. I think it's just there's a feeling of like when I'm writing and I'm inside a book, it's like with you all the time. It's like as soon as you lie down to go to sleep, it's like, okay, what's happening in the book? And then I conjure up my characters and I can see them. And it's like, what are they doing now? Okay. And you sort of get into this other thing. But a lot of that might also be, I'm an INFP, which is an intuitive feeling, perceptive person, and introverted. And so I spend a lot of time in my spirit and in my head. And for people who are extroverts, it's probably not fun. So I don't know if Billy Joel's an extrovert or an introvert. He might be an extrovert. I don't know.
I think there's a duality there. I think in the writing process, very introverted, but on stage in front of people, that he becomes an extrovert, but not necessarily a open and vulnerable extrovert. You know what I mean? He's not connecting one-on-one with people. It's like, this is a big crowd of faces and people that I'll never really have to let myself be vulnerable to, and that's a whole different kind of extrovert.
Absolutely. And that has to be a huge amount of energy you put out in that situation. That's draining, right? But
I tend to think of the creative process as like the gestation period. You're trying to make sure you're nurturing something that's not quite ready to take care of itself or be on its own. So you want to make sure you take the right stuff in and the right nourishment, and you need to get some sleep and you need to get rest, but you also need to take in stuff so that you can feed this thing that's growing inside you. And then once it's out there, once you give birth to it, and then the people can start judging it. But right now it's the gestation period. You don't want people to see it. It's like, no, you can't see the ultrasound of my book. You can't, because I don't know if it's a boy or girl, and I don't want to know yet. Let it grow. Let's see what it's going to be. And then all of a sudden, when it's done, people say, oh, you had a boy. I really wanted a girl.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that.
Boy.
I love the way you describe that.
You named it Paul. Why would you name it Paul? Oh my God, what a terrible,
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
The ultrasound of my book. I totally love that. That is exactly what it's like, because also when you're in the creative spot, it might not even turn out like that at the end.
Right.
Paul might end up to be Paula. Like, who knows, right? Like it's gonna change. It's gonna change, and it's gonna get revised, and all sorts of things are gonna happen. But for sure, guarding that little spark, I love that. Yeah.
Part of the reason I think negative criticism affects me so much is I bought into this, and I don't know who the quote comes from. It might be some classic artist or something, that everything an artist creates is in some way a self-portrait. And to me, that resonated with me totally, because I feel like I do put everything that is me into it, even if I'm being silly or whatever. That's who I am in that moment. And when there's judgment that is critical of it, it's like they're being critical of me personally, and not the work, because
I think you learned it from Bob Ross. I think that's who you learned it from. He was probably saying, now take these small brush strokes and remember, everything that we create is actually a reflection of ourselves. So when people see a tree, this tree is actually me, with the deep roots, the deep family roots, and then it bearing fruit like I'm doing here. This, that's what I think you got it from, Matt. I think Bob Ross.
No. I don't remember Bob ever saying that. Only thing, I just remember Bob whispering.
You don't remember, you've absorbed it.
All right,
You don't remember the first 4 years of your childhood. You absorbed it, and it became you.
That was somebody said the other day about being a parent, and he said, "Well, they don't remember. Nobody remembers what happened until they're like 4 years old. And can't we just duct tape them to the wall?" About
And that would be the one thing you remember. It's like,
I remember
hate
my
duct
parents.
tape. I go through Lowe's and I can see the saws and I'm fine, the hammers and I'm fine, but I see the duct tape and I just start balling up and crying. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to confess to this. I used to threaten my kids in grade 9 and 10 with that if you don't stop that right now, I'm going to duct tape you to the wall.
Well,
I don't know where it came from, but yeah.
The comedian that I'm referencing, who was talking about it, he had a infant or toddler who was crawling into bed with him at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, can't we just duct tape him to the wall? He's not going to remember it anyway. I thought, well, it's not.
I think there are a lot of parents that can really resonate with that right now. Yeah.
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 You think you're tired now. If you haven't had kids, you don't know what tired means.
Yeah.
You don't
just for the record, duct tape. You're not a sponsor. 3M, you're not a sponsor, so we can do this. If you want to be a sponsor, we'll stop saying duct tape. We'll say Gorilla Glue the child to the wall. Just so you know.
Oh, that's worse.
I did not know duct tape was a official trademark thing. I thought it
was. Well, I think 3M. I don't know who owns duct tape, but it's a name. It is a name of an actual product, and they're not a sponsor. So,
Wendy Harper Wendy. I do appreciate you. You know what? I know this is very early for you, and I appreciate you getting up and spending some time with us this morning.
But we're worth it.
Totally. Totally. And you know what? I miss talking to you, Matt. That's why I was like, I'm going to see if I can go back and talk to Matt some more.
All right. Well, what can I get a feel? Is it springtime there?
It's on the cusp for sure. I mean, Vancouver is we're sitting at in Celsius, so I'm not sure how to tell you that you'll understand it. I guess we're probably in the 50s maybe. But yes, it's definitely warm enough. Sometimes we're getting out in the sun. I just took my grandson up to the lake the other day, Sunday afternoon, and it was bright sun and it was quite warm, and he was playing in the water. It was good.
This has been the worst winter in a long, long time. Not just weather-wise, just it's been very stressful and just gloomy, and like there's a dark cloud over me this whole winter. And the more I want spring to come, it seems the more like it's playing a game and playing hard to get with me, like moving further and further away. So I have to get to a place where just let it happen, and it's a struggle for me. So jealous of you.
March is always iffy. I grew up in Ontario, so that's pretty close to where you are, weather-wise. And I mean, that's why I ended up coming out here, honestly, because I came out here once, and what was it? It was the beginning of April. And I think it was like April 1st or something. And I came out here and everybody was like, I was riding a horse in the woods in my jean jacket, and all the skunk cabbage was up, and it was beautiful, and the birds were singing. And I went home and got off the plane at Pearson in Toronto, and there was a blizzard. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. I'm out of here. And I did actually. It took me a few years to get it all together to do that, but I did it. And I came here for the weather. And we didn't have any snow this year at all. It's been
all right. I'm moving
wonderful.
to Vancouver. I'll be there tomorrow.
What? You're coming tomorrow?
Actually, Matt, you just can't move there. Canada has very strict rules and regulations about living there. And Vancouver, at least there was a housing shortage a year ago.
That. You say Canada? Canada.
Yeah, I think Vancouver was having a housing shortage last year or year before. I think it was. Because the prices are like really high because a lot of people want to live there.
Yes,
right. It's the American Hawaii.
Definitely, we have a house pricing crisis here.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous to try and buy anything here. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're a little late, Matt. What you have to do is find somebody who already has a house there and marry them. Oh, your wife wouldn't like it, would you?
No, that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Bummer. What a bummer.
But
all right.
You can visit.
Yeah,
Anyway,
visit. Yeah, you visit.
All right. Well, in any case, you know what? You should try to come on the night show and let's chat again. Don't be a stranger. Don't take between 5 years to come back every once in a while.
For
Say
sure.
hello more often. Anyway, thank you for being part of it, and we do hope again. People in the chat room, call your libraries and tell us. Go to Blue Haven Press. Tell them to stock up on all the books that are on the website in your local library. Tell them just call once a day for each book and put on. I'm John Barron. I have a membership here. Can you order?
You know what? I appreciate that, and especially if you're in Canada, call your libraries, because in Canada we have something called public lending rights, and we get paid a check every year. They go through and they check all the libraries, and if your books are in the libraries, whether they're getting taken out or not, you get money for that.
I'm sending some books to Canada, to their library. Now they're not my books. I didn't write them, but I'm gonna send them anyway.
No, yeah. No. You have to be a Canadian to get this.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a list, and I don't know how long this. Maybe AI can help me compile a list of all the local libraries in the country of Canada, and that one up there, and put them on the website so that people can quickly find a number to call in wherever they are. I'm gonna do that.
That's
I did not know that. Yeah, support your authors, because if we don't support our authors, you know what, they're not going to write anymore. You got to support them some way. I mean, if you enjoy the reading, do what you can to help support it, and that goes for everybody in the creative arts. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you, my friend, and I will see you in cyberspace in the meantime. So
absolutely, and thank you, and have a great day.
You too. Bye for now. Wendy Harper Carr Hawken. I want to tell you a little story. Can I tell you a little story?
About a man named Jed.
No, not about a man named Jed. See, this is the thing. I don't remember names, so it could be a woman named Jed, but I don't think a woman named Jed. There a local story here yesterday, 33 years after it happened, cold case. It's going to be depressing. So if you might take some Xanax, get prepared for this. A woman confessed yesterday in court that when she was 21 years old, she had a baby. Now, she didn't even let her family know that she was pregnant, which is kind of hard to conceal, right? And
the first few months is easy, but after a while, you have to start hiding behind furniture and maybe go on vacation.
Well, wear really loose clothes or whatever, but I don't know how she went to her grandmother's house and delivered the baby. She's 21 years old. Now she's in her bedroom at her grandmother's house and delivered the baby on her own. No midwife, no nothing. And the baby started crying, and she panicked to try to keep the baby from crying because she didn't want grandma to know there's a baby in the room. And she stuffed paper towels in the baby's mouth to keep him from crying, and the baby died. She put the baby in a bag and drove out into the woods, the crossroads, and left the baby in a bag there. Cold case, dead baby in a bag. 33 years later, they go and exhume his cold case. They exhume the baby and take some DNA sampling and match it to the father. Now, the father had no idea. The young man at the time had no idea that he even got this girl pregnant. They were together once, and they went to him and said, "You're the father of this cold case dead baby. Tell us the story." He's like, "I don't know anything about it." Well, let's go through the history of all the women you can remember being with when you were 21. Could you do that, right? Like at 55 years old, give them a detailed list of everybody you might have slept with?
Well, it depends which year, because I did have a dry spell of about a year or two, and so they said I'm just gonna make up 2 years between the years of 21 and 23. I go like, oh yeah, well that was easy, nobody.
No, that was a dry spell.
That was a dry spell. I'm just saying. So it depends. If they narrow it down, I guess like, oh no, that was a dry spell.
Right. So this guy, he basically gave him a list of all, and they went through all the women and finally got to the one. They only had sex one time, according to the story I read online yesterday. And she got pregnant from that one time. She was 21 years old. Now she's 55 and she has 2 grown children of her own. And this is, I mean, how do you live with that in your conscience? First of all, that you had a baby and it died, and I don't think it was murder. I don't think she killed the baby. She was trying to stifle it from crying, panicking. As
she didn't know any better.
Yeah, and listen, people are saying don't make excuses for it. It's 21-year-old kid. You're stupid. You're scared. A whole lot of shit going on there. But so now she's going to court. They grab her. She's coming out of a grocery store or something. Cops are, we need your DNA. And all of a sudden, the trauma from the past that she had buried in the back of her conscience comes back. She goes to court and tells the story. Now she's got to go back for sentencing. She's 55 years old. They want to sentence her 25 years to life. So that means minimum, like she's going to be until 80. And I feel like there's got to be some kind of forgiveness here. I mean, I understand that people were just hard ass about this, saying, "Oh, she killed the baby," and especially at the time they were just enacting laws that you could bring it to a hospital or something and just drop it off, no questions asked. There was some kind of but as a 21-year-old, you don't necessarily know that. You're not cognizant of it, and it just feels like 25 years, the rest of her life in prison for a mistake that I'm certain she regrets and has had some really scar. What is your take? Do you have any forgiveness on this? Do you any thoughts on this at all? Like, what should a fair sentence be for somebody like that?
Death.
Death?
I don't know. Look, because I don't know her state of mind. Because we're saying that she was trying to silence the baby. It's also possible as postpartum depression. You know, postpartum depression is a little more different than also maybe quiet the baby. Did you see Quigley Down Under?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, remember she had the baby and she had killed the baby earlier by trying to keep it quiet so that they wouldn't be caught and killed.
Right.
And so she was trying to silence the baby and she kills it. And then later on, she's in the same situation and she starts to smother the baby again. And then she realizes what she's about to do. And she redeems herself by saying, go ahead, cry as loud as you want, make as much noise you want, cry, baby, cry. You know,
cry, baby, cry.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, because again, we don't know how reliable her memory is, what it is her brain told her so that she could live with it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it literally could have been like, you little rat bastard. I don't know. So I think 25 years is much. I don't know how much leeway the judge has, you know, because some of that is based on how the prosecutor, what she's charged with. Let's say if she's charged with, let's say, involuntary manslaughter as opposed to murder 1 or something like that. The judge may not, you know, and if the judge doesn't have any say in what the charges are, and if the prosecutor brought the charges and the jury found her guilty of those charges, the judge may not have an option as to, you know, what her hands may be tied. I don't know.
Yeah, 80 to be and listen, she's going to die in prison, basically. I mean, 80-year-olds, whatever, maybe not. Maybe she'll get out at 80. But it just feels like there's no compassion in this kind of situation at all. I'm not. It's hard to say, oh, well, we need, because people are like, what about the baby? The baby didn't get any compassion. Maybe again, I don't think it was murder. I think she was panicking, not wanting grandma to find out that she just had a baby and the baby died. Now, after that, she could have done the right thing and fessed up and came, it was an accident, whatever.
Right.
But you know, who makes all the right decisions at 21 years old? If you went down the list of stupid mistakes and dumb things that might be construed as evil that I did at 21, you'd be here all till you're 21.
Okay, now I have to confess that when I was 21, I was at a dry spell of stupidity. So I didn't do anything stupid during that 1 year. But from 20
So wait a minute. The dry spell for stupidity was only 1 year, but the dry spell
1 year.
for
But then when I got to 22, I went right back to stupid. the dry spell was over, and I went right back to doing stupid shit.
But the dry spell for stupid seemed to not last as long as the dry spell for getting laid, which is a little.
I know. I guess women didn't like the smart guy, you know. That's why. Look, it's rough being a smart guy because I got picked on, I got beat up a lot, you know, and it's not something I was proud of, you know.
The other part of that story, though, I can't get a straight answer to is why did it take him 33 years to open this cold case? Like what? Oh, you know what? Remember that? Are you bored today? What the hell? Why are you going back to that now? But I guess.
Well, maybe they had a stack of cold cases and they're just going through them one by one.
That's probably.
And then they go like, oh, damn, look at this one. Who wants this one?
That seems like a logical. And I'm surprised. Like the father, they located the father through the DNA. He must have done something to have his DNA.
Well, he could be in the system. He could have been in the military. He could have worked in the Justice Department where they would have your DNA.
They save DNA. Really?
There's some government jobs where they take your DNA so you're in this. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, there's some government jobs when they do have your DNA. That's especially like soldiers, because if you're a soldier, you die in battle. All they may have to identify you is their DNA.
Right. Or they used to do it with dog tags before.
Right, but you can't trust a dog tag. I mean, you can swap dog tags.
That's right. So yeah, tomorrow, do we have a show tomorrow? Yes, we do have a show tomorrow, right? I have a show.
As far as I know.
Hold on, Calendly. Wendy's publicist is just saying, well, was there another guy on the show? I'm kidding. She didn't have a publicist.
They know you're on the show. You meant me. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm the other guy.
Why is there another guy? The other guy.
Well, everybody can come in on Wednesday night, but then they miss my witty banter.
Witty.
Was that Whitey? My Whitey banter.
Whitey. I don't know. Tomorrow. Oh, you know what? Tomorrow we have the sign guy and the lawn guy.
All right.
Arthur Frischman, who is his business is the Long Island sign guy, but his thing is shorts about historical information about each town on Long Island. I'm going to be really interested in that conversation because he goes back to the 1600s in some cases and really, really deep dives into the history of some of these small towns. And then Douglas E. Richards, who is the lawn guy, basically he's a New York Times bestseller of a book, but he's been celebrated for his provoking works of blend cutting-edge scientific concepts with heart-pounding narratives. How about that? And he's a lawn guy. How about that? Oh yeah, you're not impressed by being a lawn guy?
I'm impressed. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention though.
Me neither.
I was thinking about something else.
All right. Richard has become a go-to author for readers seeking an intellectually stimulating and adrenaline-fueled reading experience. His works delve deeply into the ethical dilemmas posed by scientific breakthroughs and potential impact of society. It doesn't sound like anything related to lawn. Maybe do I have the wrong stuff in this? Is that possible?
Is it possible? Sure.
Is it probable? Is it
probable? When we're talking about things like this, just skip over possible and just start with probable and likely.
Yeah. You know what?
Just skip over. We don't even have to start saying, is that possible? No. Just skip over possible.
It's probable, right?
Just say, is it probable or likely?
Yeah. Probably the wrong science fiction writer. There's nothing about lawns in here. I feel like I'm kind of an idiot. Well, what kinds of idiots are there? I'm a prototype.
I just so you know, I have never tried to organize a comedy festival. I mean, I have a friend of mine who just organized one from scratch. I can find out from him because I was talking about the comedy festival for people in wheelchairs.
Don't worry, I'm in on this one. I'm not gonna bail on you like that thing I did in January of last year. I'm gonna be fully invested in trying to do something for these guys.
Okay.
So, yeah, but you know what? Just because you never did something, there's no reason not to do it now.
No, what I'm saying is, I've never done anything like this, so there's going to be like a huge learning curve.
Me too.
So I'm going to be saying and doing a lot of stupid shit that may look like I'm spinning my wheels because I'm learning. I've never done this before. I have no experience with it whatsoever.
Yeah, I have done music, big things like this, but I don't know what to call it. It's not like a festival, but I have done some music productions that would be similar. I don't think it's that much different, but
well, I think the festivals, because I've applied to a couple of festivals and I hate the way they're done. So yeah. I would like this to be a totally different experience.
Let's not call it a festival. Let's start with something else. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I would definitely love to. You'd be the only one performing that's not in a wheelchair. I
don't even want to perform. I just maybe host. I would introduce the host, maybe.
Well, if you'd like, I could break both your legs and then maybe no.
Well, I would.
And then I run you right into the ocean.
I don't mind being a I wouldn't want to perform. If it come to publicity, I wouldn't mind being like a spokesperson, or so to speak. But I wouldn't want to distract or take away from some of the able-bodied comedians in wheelchairs who are perfectly capable of hosting and doing that.
Yeah, able-bodied. Yeah. I got two, Stephen and Joe Urell. I'm sure we can come up with others. There's lots of others, right?
Oh yeah, believe me, in the Maryland area, there's so many comedians in wheelchairs and stuff. And some of them are really, really good. There was one that was in Florida. I don't know if he's still alive or not, because he had a debilitating disease, and there was a documentary made on him. I doubt that he's still alive. He has so much wrong with him.
Wow.
But I can find out. I'm friends with the guy who did the documentary on him.
All right. What was his name? Nappy?
Yeah, Matt, we should walk around Nappy, which is a
to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.